Hey everybody, welcome back to the Takeover. Today is another special episode. It's the family episode of the Takeover, and I'm again joined with my dad, Wayne Johnson. Dad, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
We're excited to talk about today's topic, guys. This is exciting for me. I've had a little bit of experience in this area. Today we're going to be talking about innovation, and we're going to talk about product development. We're going to talk about how to think outside of the box and how to stay one step ahead of your competition. I think this is very relevant today. I think never in the history of the world has things moved so quickly. And of course, that really speaks to the need to make innovation an important part of your business and a big part of your business. We need to always be continuously improving, whether you are a manufacturer or a distributor. You need to think about how can you make your products or services better so that you can stay ahead of the competitors, because you know that they're doing the same. So this is a great conversation that we're going to have today. I've had some experience doing new product development before with Accuform, and we'll be definitely talking about that. And Dad, this is something that you love to do. I know that from experience that you love to play a big role in innovation, and I know that you've also maybe had some let's not call them failures, but
Another failure.
we've had some prototypes that didn't quite make it. Let's just say that. So why don't we start off by just sharing some of those stories? Maybe tell us about a story of a product that just didn't make it in the market.
Well, there's probably a few, but probably the most epic one of them all is the talking sign.
I love this story.
Yeah. So the background on the talking sign was that in part of our innovation process, we're always looking to say, well, what could we do better? How could signs be better? How could the products that we manufacture be better? Whether it's more brilliant colors or bigger sizes or different materials or whatever. And so when I was out talking to customers and saying, so what do you like about your signs and what do you not like about your signs? And of course the main thing that everybody said was that, well, signs are great, but after a while people just quit reading them. And so safety directors are like, yeah, I just hate it that I spent all this time and effort to put up a sign and then people don't even read it. And so I kind of took that data back with me, and we said, well, how could we sort of force people to read them? And we developed the idea of making the sign talk. So that was right when technology was just about to start making things talk, and there was sort of the computer synthesized voice thing was making things talk in a very robotic sounding way and stuff. So we thought, well, how could we make this sign actually talk? And we came up with some ideas, and we spent a lot of R&D and time into this thing and developing sensors that would go off to make the sign talk. And then we were so excited, we said, well, does it really work? So we actually contacted a professor at Rensselaer University, and we sent him the samples, and he said, oh, I think this is brilliant. I'm going to have my students do a test on this. So they literally did a benchmark test where he put like a regular sign up and then brought in 100 students and told them to do something in the lab. And basically it was put your safety glasses on before you pour this liquid into this liquid. And that was all they had to do. And then they measured how many people put their safety glasses on. And then they brought in a sign, they put up a sign that had put your safety glasses on, plus it had a symbol of wear your safety glasses, so pictorial symbol. And they brought another 100 students in, and then they measured how many complied. And then they brought 100 students in as they sat down at the bench. The sign talked and said, wear your safety glasses before you complete this operation. So obviously the results were phenomenal, right? The sign that was just a plain sign had about 45% of the people complied. The sign with the symbol had about 60% people complied. The sign with the audio voice had 100% compliance, right?
Wow.
So here we were armed with great data, phenomenal scientific data, and a good product. And we took it out to the marketplace and spent a lot of time at trade shows and things, and having these people come by and see and hear the talking sign. And we sold a few, but the early results came back from the customers that bought them said, we already disconnected the sign. And I was like, why? Why would you disconnect it? And they said, well, our employees got sick of every time they walked by that sign, the sign talked to them. And it was becoming more of an annoyance or a nuisance than it was. And so we figured there was probably other solutions, but at the end of the day, we kind of chalked it up as saying, well, the world's not ready for signs that talk to them yet.
Right.
And I don't know if they are yet now, but they weren't then anyway. So,
wow. So a lot of energy and I'm assuming money went into that sign, into that product, and you got it all the way to the marketplace, and you had people buying it. But once it was out there for a while, they said, "Nuh-uh, this is too annoying. Take it down."
Just didn't really build any traction, and so the product we decided to discontinue it, put our efforts somewhere else, and there's been plenty of new products ever since that have been developed, and some good, some bad, some that have been great successes, and some that haven't.
That's funny. Like, you listen to your customers the first time, they tell you what's wrong, you create a solution, and then they tell you, sorry, that didn't work out.
That wasn't the right solution.
But that's how it goes, right? Sometimes. And, it's funny that you bring up that story, because the world, so in marketing, right, the thing that I'm paying close attention to is voice optimization, right? So we're working on optimizing all of this content that's on the internet for voice, for things like Alexa and Google Home. And so, everybody's got these Alexas and Google Homes, right, in their houses. And, they're talking to these things, and these things are responding back to them with information. And it seems like voice may be making, maybe the future is finally catching up to your idea.
I think I was just ahead of my time.
I think you were just about like 30 years ahead of your time. But so there maybe I don't give up on the talking sign just
we won't
yet.
discard the patent yet.
All right, good. That's a cool story. So, question for you is, what role does innovation play for a manufacturer like Accuform? It's obviously we need to create new products, right? But and we're focused on sales, but oftentimes it's not so much about the top line; it's about the bottom line, right? So, what are some of the things that you do to innovate for the bottom line?
Well, so we do a lot of internal innovation as well as external innovation. And internal meaning we're focusing on the processes and production systems that we have in place. So we've done tons of things to improve the bottom line. Every year, I guarantee you that process improvement is always going to be one of the pillars of our strategic planning processes. So there's always going to be some contribution to EBITDA that comes out of innovation. And so we have a full R&D team that focuses on internal innovation as well as product innovation. So the internal guys they're building equipment, and they're building software, and they're building solutions that allow us to find orders faster, track orders faster, move them through the plant faster. Everything's about speed. Remember that one thing I said, speed's the new currency?
Yeah.
Speed's the new currency in production too, right? So it's how can we get more throughput out of the same place, the same square footage.
That's awesome. I know that you also, and anybody that's gone on a tour of Accuform, no doubt they've seen the R&D area. You want to talk a little bit about that? I mean, for those who are listening, haven't seen it. Like what's back there? What are you guys doing all the time? There's always, when I walk back there, there's always like some kind of crazy machine being built. Looks like it's Batman's cave or something, some gadget. What's that all about?
Yeah, so ideas flow up from our production processing team through our plant manager and ultimately through my brother Dave, who kind of sorts those things out and prioritizes where those things go. And then those ideas flow into our R&D team, where we have engineers and machinists that build equipment. Most of the things that we do, you can't just go buy a piece of equipment to do them. So we end up making them and designing that equipment ourselves. And we're very fortunate to have a great team and great resources. They have 3D printers, they have machining skills. They've got robotics back there. We've got a robotics specialist. So we're really pretty blessed to be able to have all those resources at our hands. And those guys attend lots of trade shows that give them ideas too about what new equipment is out there and what things we could do. So yeah, we invest a lot in. It's part of our capex expenditure every year that we invest in.
I love that. I love that we have this mentality, and I think it maybe goes back to Dave a little bit when just say it's like this idea that, if we can imagine it, we can build it. It's like I don't have to settle for whatever's already created out there. I can think of something I want to think about the outcome, and then I can reverse engineer something that'll help me accomplish that. And like that's a really cool mentality to have, right? So I think a lot of manufacturers would really benefit from having that same sort of mentality. Like, hey, let's not just rely on the same equipment that our competitors are using. Let's go build our own.
Right. Yeah, it's something that definitely sets us apart. Our company, there are some things that we can buy, but for the most part, the things that are the differentiators for us are the things that we make.
Yeah, I love that. All right, another question. So, man, things have changed a lot. I mean, we talked about the fact that voice was an annoying thing, in the late 80s, early 90s, and now it's everywhere. I mean, I'm listening to somebody all the time, and somebody's listening to this podcast right now. So voice has changed a lot, but other things have changed too. So how has the market, how's industrial supply in particular changed in the last 10 to 20 years, and how has that influenced the way that you think about innovation?
Well, there's no doubt that the industrial distribution marketplace has changed dramatically. There's a lot more turnover, so we're seeing some of the people that were long-time safety specialists that they understood how to sell all these products, that they're moving on, retiring, or selling their businesses or whatever. And so you've got younger blood coming in, and there's more of a need for training now, and the product diversity is wider than it's ever been. There's more options and solutions available to people than ever. So it's becoming a challenge for I think, distributors to kind of narrow in and focus in on certain things that they can do well, and align themselves with suppliers that are aligned best with them. Maybe they kind of line up with them. If they're kind of a low price distributor, then they probably line up with a low price supplier. If they're a high service value distributor, then they're going to align themselves with high service level suppliers probably. So probably a lot more of that going on. And then of course the very biggest change is all about content and data. So now when I sit in a strategy meeting or any kind of a leadership team meeting, I'd say a good part of our meeting is always consumed by conversations about content and data, content and data, content and data. How do I have the right thing to make it easier for my customer to do business with me? Whether that's via EDI or where it's online or whatever the process is, right? There's something out there that some people are looking for to make it faster and better to do business together.
So, if I'm understanding you correctly, what we're seeing here is that because of the generational shift and the millennials making up the largest part of the workforce now than ever, these folks don't have the tribal knowledge about the products that their predecessors had, right?
Right.
So, like, the big challenge is, either they have to become experts about more products than they can possibly know about, which is impossible, or they have to become more specific about what they are specializing in.
Right. Yeah, or they have to rely on other sources to get that knowledge.
Right.
And that's where companies like SpinStack are helping out tremendously, because I think getting that content and data, getting videos, getting more and more pictures, making it clear how to use these products online, because there just isn't going to be a salesperson there every day, every time. And so a lot of the innovation that's really happening now is happening around what's going out globally online or in apps or whatever it is.
Yeah, teaching people how to self-educate
Right.
By using the content that the manufacturers are providing. And that's a huge, that's got to be the number one thing that's changed.
Right.
Is that and that's how the internet has changed
Sure.
the industrial supply world.
Yeah, we used to go in and do a lunch and learn and be done, and everybody understood how to do the products, but it doesn't work quite that easily anymore. So.
Awesome. So we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, guys, I'm going to tell you about my stint as a new product developer, tell you some stories about that, and we'll come back just after a quick word from our sponsor. Hang in there. We were made for this industry. We've been learning, listening, and adapting for over 15 years. But I feel like we've only just begun. From the beginning, our mission was to help industrial suppliers grow their business. Today, the world is spinning faster than ever before, and we refuse to slow down because nothing less than the future is at stake. For many of our clients, we are the bridge between yesterday and tomorrow, helping them seize the moment today. You know, they say tigers starve last. Are you hungry? Are you playing offense, attacking the market and driving change? Or are you retreating to the boardroom, trying to figure out how to survive? Everything we do is about building relationships and brands that stand the test of time. So yeah, we're crazy passionate about helping you transform your business. That's our legacy. What's yours?
We live in a fast-paced world, invested in so many things. Sometimes we miss the details. At work, when safety is on the line, we can't miss the details. Regulations and policies, standard operating procedures, safety guidelines. But when you move quickly to keep up with demand, even these can be overlooked. Or worse, ignored. Hundreds of words posting an infinite number of demands just feels like red tape. We need clarity. At Accuform, we manufacture products that clarify communication to employees, contractors, and visitors in the workplace. Safety is an important message that needs to stick. You want a culture of safety, everyone coming together, motivated to build an environment that reaches for better, safer, enthusiastic spaces. We know you want all members of your workforce to go home safely each and every night. Your signs, tags, and labels should clearly communicate safety hazards to protect your employees. We understand that the messages you post are for compliance or a reinforcement of training, and that they're there even when you aren't. We make products that inform, protect, and motivate the global workforce. Our products help you reinforce that culture of safety. Communication is mission critical to making the world a better, safer place, and we're doing our part.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we talked about some interesting stories. The talking sign story. God, was that a great story? It's one of the bedtime stories that I had growing up, and hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I do. I want to tell you a little bit about my time in new product development, what I learned, because again, the takeover is about. Well, it's not just about sharing ideas. It's about my own journey, and I'm trying to bring you guys along with me on that journey. And I learned so much from being in new product development. I think it ultimately wasn't for me because I like being in a larger team and being a little more interactive and collaborative. But basically, in my role, my job was to go out there and research things that we could create in our manufacturing facility, like utilizing the technology that we had in place, maximizing the return that we could get out of it by creating innovative new products. And so I had to go out and learn a lot about the manufacturing process. I had to go learn about what other companies were doing in the market and take that research back and come up with ideas that could expand the product line and improve the product line. And one of the things that I took away from my time in that, or the number one thing that I took away, was the importance of process. And kind of before that, I was, more of the, the creative, graphic designer, kind of person. I didn't really think about process all that much. I was more concerned about aesthetics. But when you're doing new product development, you need to have a very, very airtight process, because a lot of money and a lot of resource, a lot of time can be thrown down the drain if you do not do this the right way.
Right. Absolutely.
And so that was one of the things that I helped develop, and hopefully I left that in good hands. And it looks like it's working out well, because you guys have been innovating and putting out new products since I've been gone. But so I developed a process of stages and gates that would help make sure that any ideas, that only the best ideas made it into consideration for prototyping, and that only the prototypes, the prototypes went through a thorough vetting process before they were ever launched to market. And of course, launching a product is an entire show in and of itself.
Yeah.
But so that was creating that process is one of the things I'm most proud of in my time there, and really took that into being able to run a marketing agency. Was the importance of processes. It wasn't just about the big picture anymore. I had to be a detail oriented person as well.
Yeah, so I think the big thing for new product development, at least for us, is that you have a constant flow of things coming into the funnel. So you really want to keep that really full at the top. And if you think about that big funnel thing, there's lots and lots and lots of ideas flowing in at the top. And then you got to vet them along the way through that gating process. And so it's a great thing that you developed for us. And then what comes out is products that are vetted and ready for the marketplace. And some of them just stay at the top of the funnel and never move anywhere. Mm-hmm. Even though they're good ideas, it's just that priority-wise, it's important to put things into priority. So you may, and priorities are driven by a bunch of different things. They can be driven by opportunity, but more often in our space, they're driven by legislation or some sort of a new regulation. So that's coming along. So that kind of moves things along the process faster.
Awesome. And one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about was, because you guys, it seems like there's a new product that comes out, every month or two at Accuform, mm-hmm. and I've been a little bit disconnected, because I've been over here doing my own thing. What are some of the favorite things that you guys have launched since I've been gone? I guess the last couple years.
Wow. So we've spent a lot of R&D development into the areas of 5S. So 5S has been a big growing part of our business, but is a little bit far removed from safety, but there's been a lot of new product development going on in there. One of the things I'm probably most excited about is our team just developed a new form of whiteboard. So, whiteboards are everywhere, from offices to factory floor to the hospital rooms. They're in every hospital room.
I think we got like 25 in the studio.
Yeah, I think you do. You have a lot of whiteboards around, and you use them well. So we've been working on developing new whiteboards, and really we've come out with the coolest new, a really awesome new system for doing whiteboards that's far removed from the old traditional way of galvanized steel with magnets and all that stuff. And so we've actually developed this new magnetic material that will adhere to the whiteboard, but it's not even a metallic surface, so it's actually a plastic surface. So
wow. Yeah,
it's very cool. It's got millions of little suction cups on the back of this material. Makes it act like a magnet.
So is that in development right now, or is it?
It's done. It's through the development process, and
nice.
The products are being shipped into the marketplace now.
That is really cool. Awesome. So we talked a little bit about the internal R&D as well, but can you tell us like what it means in terms of an investment to you guys? I know that it's always a big part of the growth strategy is to
mm-hmm.
launch new products to the market, And so, how much of an investment? I mean, not to give figures, but maybe percentage wise, like what are you investing in new products and R&D?
Right. So we develop. We probably invest anywhere from 3 to 6% of sales every year. It varies depending on what's going on. So that's as a percentage of profits, that's probably certainly a much higher number. But 3 to 6% of sales into that type of expenses is what drives it for us. And I know a lot of companies, 3M for example, says, hey, 50% of our revenue needs to come from products that are 5 years old or less. Mm-hmm. We don't have that parameter. We don't have that benchmark number, but it's certainly important to us, and it's actually something that we've all begun tracking the sales of products that are 5 years or less. But I don't really know what we don't have enough history on that number yet to know what we want it to be. What's the optimum number?
Yeah, new product development, I think, one of the things I think made it more of a natural transition for me to go from new product development to marketing was that new product development and marketing are similar in that, every once in a while you're gonna strike out, mm-hmm. or let's flip that around. You're gonna strike out a lot, mm-hmm. but every once in a while you're gonna hit a home run.
Right.
And you just never know when that home run's going to come. It's like the same with advertising, right? Like, we run a bunch of ads, everybody's like, it doesn't really show much ROI, and then boom, you hit one, and it pays for everything.
Right.
And so that's why I think it's important to continually be investing in your R&D and to make sure that you have the chance of having that one bust out product mm-hmm. that could be a game changer for your customers.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how do we put some of this into action? Like, how do we go about finding and investing in technology? I know that's something that's dear to your heart, but we're going to learn from Wayne about how to locate and implement technology right after this message from our sponsors.
We all know a bad advertising move when we see it. Or do we? Advertisers told us the world is digital. Print is dead. The truth is, it's not. The best data on the subject has revealed 3 critical values of printed catalogs. First up, touch. It sounds self-evident, but printed catalogs are appealing because they can be touched. IKEA recently produced a funny but poignant ad suggesting that printed catalogs accomplish everything we want tablets and web pages to do, but better. All of our years of experience being able to touch, fold, skim, and browse a catalog just can't be replicated. It seems some things can't be replaced by technology. Number 2, availability. In a survey conducted by retail consultancy firm Kurt Salmon, they found that 64% of people who first saw an item in a catalog ended up completing their purchase in-store, and 32% made a purchase on a website. Additionally, they found that 58% of online buyers got ideas from paging through a catalog, and nearly 30% had a catalog in their hands when they bought online. The availability of having a catalog you can skim through fosters customer loyalty. That brings us to the 3rd critical value of printed catalogs: consistency. Upon reviewing their sales funnel, HUBERT Company, a food handling equipment distributor, reported that multi-channel marketing through catalogs and e-commerce boosted sales and led to an increase in customer loyalty. This isn't just a case of selling to every market. Catalogs and e-commerce are 2 parts of one strategy. Catalog consumers are consistently more enthusiastic of your brand and will spend more. Considering 67% of online searches are driven by offline messages and almost 90% of online shoppers buy products they first see in a catalog, the data is clear. Print is not dead.
When ordinary signage won't do, armor up with a protection that's powerful enough to survive any environment. Duck Armor by Accuform. Designed to protect against scratches, scrapes, and impacts. Built to endure damaging chemical washing, graffiti resistant, and able to withstand UV yellowing or fading, plus cold weather cracking. Duck Armor is the original liquid laminate coating, pioneered by Accuform. Don't fall for a decoy.
Huh?
Get Duck Armor. We don't send strong men into battle without armor. Get the sign coating you know will last against harsh abrasions, tough chemicals, taggers, and extreme environments. Duck Armor is tough enough for scratches, scrapes, impacts, weather, washing, sun, graffiti, and... What are you doing?
I was just gonna...
What? No. Why would you do that? Like all liquid laminate signs, Duck Armor's ultra-hard surface cleans easily, like water off a duck's back, and it withstands tough conditions, keeping your sign and message clear. But only Duck Armor can protect more than your signs, with over 90,000 products armed and ready. Not like that. Don't pay for protective coating on cheap sign material. Duck Armor gives you superior coating on premium signs at no extra cost. All the protection without the bill. Your facility deserves the best protection on the best signs. Durable and resilient. Light as a feather. Duck Armor has you covered.
All right, hey guys, welcome back. We're continuing our conversation with Papa Wayne on the topic of innovation, and this has been really helpful. We've had some good stories, and we've talked about the investment that he makes as a business owner in innovation, new product development. So as we're wrapping this thing up, Dad, what resources would you recommend to somebody who is a CEO out there and trying, he knows he needs to be more innovative. We need to improve our new product development process, or we need to launch some new things to the market. What are some things that you might recommend that would help them, think more creatively?
Sure. Again, for us, it's attending conferences. We attend a lot of conferences, and I'm not afraid to attend a conference that's completely outside of my space of industry, because you never know what you're going to find out. I've walked around a food show, for example, or a warehouse equipment show. I have nothing to do with that stuff, but I usually find some kind of a good idea that we can transfer or relate to our industry. So,
of course, you like the food show. I mean, who wouldn't like the food show?
Yeah, free samples. So, getting ideas from places like that is great. Again, joining a peer group, can't recommend that enough. Get around some other people. And if you're a distributor, you really need to be thinking about innovation from the service side and from bundling sides and marketing sides and all those things. So, you're probably not going to do a lot of product innovation as a distributor, but there's a lot of things that you can still be doing to be innovative. And I really admire some of the distributors that are out there that are doing things that are different, unique, and really taking a chance to stand out in the crowd. So, to me, that's really great innovation when you can do something like that.
Awesome. Well, just as we're wrapping up here, some of my key takeaways are, number one, we have the patent on the talking sign, so don't take that idea. And I might go and try to develop that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
don't be afraid to fail either, right?
Right.
So I think that's if I had to summarize the whole thing on innovation, it's don't be afraid to fail. Because like you said, sometimes you strike out, fail, and then you hit something that's a win. So really the secret to innovation, you really boil it all down, is that desire to keep trying, and don't be afraid about the failure.
Absolutely. Be a home run hitter. Those home run hitters, you think about Mark McGwire or, Barry Bonds. I mean, these guys batted like 200, but those home runs. So really awesome conversation. This was a really cool episode today, Dad. As people are listening to this, if they want to know more about I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do this for every episode, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys my basic outline for my new product development process that I created.
Good.
So I'll put that in the show notes. You'll be able to download that. That process is a framework you'll be able to use. And if anybody wants to ask you a question, they can hit you up on your email, right?
Yep. Wayne.johnson@accuform.com.
Awesome. So guys, don't be afraid to hit him up with any questions about innovation. This guy does it as good as anybody in the industry. And again, Dad, it's so awesome for you to come on the show.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Glad to be with you guys.
Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.